To add a multi-engine rating to your certificate, you must be able to perform several maneuvers, including steep turns, slow flight, and stalls. These are designed to help the examiner judge your ability to safely control the airplane. Before any maneuver, always check the area using clearing turns. It's important not to overlook your collision avoidance responsibility in a twin. At higher speeds, your maneuvering area is much larger than it is in a single-engine airplane, and with more systems to monitor, there's a tendency to concentrate your attention inside the aircraft. Your altitude must be no lower than 3,000 feet AGL when entering or completing multi-engine maneuvers. The first one we'll look at is a steep turn. It is flown at a constant airspeed and altitude with two 360-degree turns in opposite directions. Before you begin, note your entry heading and, if possible, select a road or prominent landmark to keep you oriented throughout the maneuver. Your airspeed should be no higher than maneuvering speed, or as recommended. When you're stabilized, smoothly roll into a coordinated 45-degree bank. Since most twins have a sloping nose cone, your visual references may appear different than those in a single-engine airplane. So, use both visual references and instrument indications for the proper aircraft attitude. As you approach the original entry heading, smoothly roll out and reverse direction into the second 360-degree turn. Due to the high wing loading, you should make smooth, coordinated control inputs to avoid approaching a stall or exceeding the structural limits. Complete the maneuver by rolling out on the original entry heading. Maneuvering during slow flight, like steep turns, is done at a constant altitude and airspeed with both engines operating normally. You'll practice this maneuver with various combinations of flap and gear positions, as well as in straight and turning flight. Begin by maintaining altitude as you slow the airplane to 5 knots above the stall speed, or VMC, whichever is greater. Once you're established in slow flight, you'll practice changes in the configuration, while maintaining the desired airspeed, heading, and altitude. When making turns, use smooth, gentle control inputs and keep turns to a shallow bank. An increase in power usually is required to maintain airspeed and altitude. To transition back to cruise, increase power, raise the flaps to the takeoff setting, retract the gear, and accelerate in straight and level flight. Retract the remaining flaps as speed increases. Stalls are the final maneuver we'll discuss in this section. You must demonstrate both the recognition of and recovery from a stall situation. They are performed with various configurations of gear, flaps, power, and bank angles. Never practice stalls with one engine at reduced power. Do not allow the airplane to develop into a full stall, but recover at the first indication of an approaching stall. This may be the first indication of aerodynamic buffeting or loss of control effectiveness. Let's take a look now at two types of stalls, a recovery from a straight-ahead stall and a turning stall. The demonstration of the straight-ahead stall in this presentation will be in the approach to landing configuration, so the landing gear and flaps are positioned as if in a landing approach. Slow the airplane to the best single-engine rate of climb speed, VYSE, while maintaining altitude. Set the power as you would for a stabilized power approach. Then, gradually increase the pitch attitude to reduce the airspeed. At the first indication of a stall, lower the nose, add full power, and raise the flaps to the takeoff setting. Once you've regained flying speed, smoothly raise the nose to a climb attitude and retract the gear when you have a positive rate of climb. One way to perform a turning stall is in the takeoff and departure configuration. In this example, the landing gear is up and flaps are set to the takeoff position. The use of flaps is optional, depending on the situation being simulated. Again, slow the airplane to VYSE while maintaining altitude. When you set the power, don't use full throttle since it may result in an excessive pitch attitude and altitude gain. Turning stalls are done with 20 degrees of bank. At the first indication of a stall, smoothly lower the nose and apply full power while you level the wings. Once you've regained flying speed, smoothly raise the nose to a normal climb attitude and retract the flaps as you accelerate. Avoid increasing pitch or retracting the flaps too soon and causing a secondary stall. You should be able to recover to any airspeed and configuration required by your instructor or the flight examiner.